I had heard about Anna and brain remapping for my daughter. She struggled with getting frustrated in school because she felt like she was behind, some reading comprehension issues. She was in ninth grade, I believe, when we first started coming in. And when I first called Anna, I was telling her how I'm ADD, but I don't think that my daughter is. And I'm dyslexic, but I don't really think that that's Adeline's problems. And so before we got off the phone on our very first conversation, she said something that at first I giggled and I thought, whatever. But she said, we can help you too. You don't have to live with these things that you're discussing that is going on with you. And I thought, I'm in my 40s. That's just, you learn to cope, you learn to deal. You sit on the front row at church because you can't pay attention if you're on the second or third row. And so I just kind of laughed. But as we came in and met with Anna and talked about my daughter's school situation and some of her frustrations, the more interested that I was to think that after all these years that maybe I wouldn't struggle with things that really were burdensome to me. And so we both started the journey together, my daughter and I. Immediately we saw results. The first thing that I saw was I began sleeping through the night. I apparently had never slept through the night, and I don't think I realized that because that just becomes the norm. But I was sleeping like a baby. My head hit the pillow, and right away I was asleep and slept all night long. It was amazing. My brain just started resting. I didn't know that it was supposed to do that. So that was the very first thing that I noticed. And I noticed that numbers that I always struggled with became more clear. I wouldn't forget them as easily. I wouldn't flip them. My daughter immediately became less stressed about a bad grade perhaps, or struggling in a certain classroom situation. She just wasn't as anxious. She was more relaxed. As a busy mom, the to-do list is always going in your head. You've got school stuff, you have church stuff, you have home stuff, you have husband stuff, you have your own stuff. And I truly felt at the beginning of the process, I realized that I wasn't really thinking of anything, but I was thinking of a lot of things. And I couldn't really distinguish between one thought to the next. It was a lot of confusion going on in my brain. And I really kind of likened it to being in the middle of a stadium full of sports fans screaming and talking. And that's kind of how my to-do lists went. They were just a lot of noise. Within a year, I went from my brain being so overloaded and so many different messages coming and going to single thoughts that I could stay on track and think clearly through my day, through my week, through my month. And it's been incredible what since then we've gone through that I can clearly walk through without frustration, without tears, without waking up feeling defeated before my feet even hit the ground, because I have clear thinking. It's really changed our lives. We both have noticed huge things and still do. It just releases you to live a more abundant life.